everyone. Welcome to Ask Your Pharmacist on Dragnet TV. My name is Peggy Samuel. I'm your host. This show is proudly brought to you by Dragnet, your #1 online pharmacy. Go ahead, download the Dragnet app on Google Play Store or the App Store, and you can get all your medications delivered at 5 cities if you are in Accra or Tema. This show is also brought to you by the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana and supported by Samus Pharma Limited. Thank you to ETV Ghana, our media partner for Dragnet TV. So before I get into it, we'll go on a quick commercial break. When I come back, I will introduce where we are right now today, our guest pharmacist, and the topic for today. Stay tuned, I'll be right back.
Are you tired of roaming for your medications and can't find them? Sick and alone and can't get anyone to get your drugs? Do you need to talk to a pharmacist? Or do you feel uncomfortable when buying certain drugs from the pharmacy? Do you want your drugs to be delivered to you at the comfort of your own home or office? Then it's time to download the Dragnet app, spelled DRUGNET, from the Play Store or the App Store to enjoy total convenience. Use Dragnet, your #1 online pharmacy. For further inquiries on Dragnet, call 024 00 24455.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. You are watching Ask Your Pharmacist on Dragnet TV. Today we at Tema Community 1, and our guest pharmacist for today is from Marian Apreku. She is the superintendent pharmacist at Palza Pharmacy. And our topic for today is the posology and side effects of drugs. Farm, how you doing?
I'm great.
You're looking very bright in your shirt.
You're looking good.
Thank you. So how are you going to handle this? This is a very huge task. What do you think about it?
Yeah, so we know medicines are basically poison. So it's really an important topic that people really need to know about. So today, by the end of the whole segment, we are trying to let people know that they should be really be careful with their drugs. And if they are giving instructions on how to take their drugs at the pharmacy or at the hospital, they follow it to the letter, the very bit of it. That's what we are going to handle today.
Well, there you have it.
When your side effects pain?
Side effect no mama medura pharmacy ni mumu na me kɔ no ho no ma me kyerɛ sɛ bia me hu sei na ye me ya enti me kɔ no mumu na ma meduru no ɔde aduru no ma me a na onu mumu akyerɛ me ɛkwan a me mfa so a me nom no enti bɛka sɛ bia no pa sei num bienu e bia nwumre nso num ni sei enti wɔno de ma me de a me num wie de a me hu problem bia wɔ ho
na woni mo bia nso nya side effect da
me hu bi da na mate but me hu bi sa da de
this we call hospital na e ma unro na e catch us say edwe we fa no 2 times a day. What you are saying?
Me le 2 na me pa no say doctor no say me pa no 2
enti say bia edro ne tablets na catch us say edro we fa me 2 times a day obey ne say kire me time ne bra obe fa no
say bia ka say me pa na no pa be 7 na the boss say bia me fa na ewia so say 12 a 12 boa na mafa
tie no sa na wote ase okay enti e ho na mema wonkyeremu kakra se ma wedro na e tablet na o ka se fa tablet no mienu 2 times a day e no kire se wo be fa mienu anopa mienu enwumre ye mfa ne mienu anopa mienu ewia wate ase aha enti se ka se fedro 2 times a day e ye mo anopa eni enwumre enya anopa eni ewia so wate ase me da ase pa se ma wedro se no na wo refi se wo be no medro no ebia ewie bi na enwumre okoda na okaya eden na oye
me de me num ne me meseye no metua so enwumre de na because I think say ebe overdose me and say ebe overreact o so
that's very true that's the right thing to do. But there are cases where my entisa, but most in Rone Dodona de Kawukaya to a senior say or to us on Senia Okaya na pepe. It's a question Ben Opiso Bisami.
Number 7 Bisan say Evans a walk to a drew na Evans anase be alcohol hospital Yama we drew. Unum kakra who so hotel no wejai unum biem. But maybe for like 2-3 weeks and now say be a 1 month time you start to like feel like kind of abnormal. Then it was the same issue that you took to the hospital, then you'll be like, oh, I mean, check your drone expiry date, you know. Now me here say expire, then I can continue. Is it okay like that?
It's totally not okay. A drone normally ma no, especially say ma antibiotics and I say ma anti-malaria. So who to cry even the next day? I saw twice no no running in a nessa. Na me pese me bisa o say so ko hospital na so ko pharmacy a na bia wo ko pay dura no mka se no no anopa ne anwumra sign na wote ase
say doctor no bia o fa no overdose a ebe how e di na o kire o say bia fan 3 times a day. Yes sir.
Ti den kam me so me pese me ka che o ne say doctor ka se fa edro anopa ne anwumra o pa che say 12 hours intervals no henti o pa che say so fa na anopa 8 a anwumre 8 na wo san be fa say edro no ba obo ma o fa na anopa 8 na obo say ebo be anwumre 4 ana 3 bia no asan fa bi me pa che enti sa so ka se fa ne mprenu a I dey mpremienu na that means so be fa na anopa 8 a anwumre so 8 na say dey o fa no what you say isa say so wo ko pharmacy ana say empo say wo ko akoto edura na wo yare bi kakra bi kra utimi ka che o mansa na waka say bia say ni nti nro na mo de ma me no mo hwe say ha me yare we ana say ha ade bi e wo me ho
no de me important say me tumi ka che o me koto edura da me de meka say bia mo sa condition ana say waiting and so me beto edura because I know said most of the drugs no ya me de minim say kakra minim say pharmaceutical drugs no ebi afraid be poisonous drugs right ebi wo ha and yes say poison but just say into no say one can na we hu eduro na we hu nsunsun so eba ma me nkasa me life a eba ha me because un say eduro bo ha ye man specifically say wudi sa age we na offer
very good
eduro bo ha yes wudi sa age we ya offer when your over age was sa eduro bo say eduro bia bo ha ye wo age a ye defa nti me kwa se na me pesa me ho to me nti mentumi mfa nsiese bia sei ana sei o se metumi ka che pharmacist nse bia we na ye me ana say we me problem ni sei ama o de do no ma me na me hu say e do no de ama me no sei ebe boa me ana say emboa me
me da say so ko pharmacy na e ka che o say edro we no mu wi ansa na we didi a o adwen kire wo ho pa ne say ana say edro we wudidi wi a ansa na wanom no me pese bibisa question kakra bi ho wudidi wi no mu edro ni wi a na we didi ana say wo ma ekwan kakra bi beda ntem kakra
mpacho bi wo ha me didi wi a na manom edro no
say kase no medro ansa na we didi a e kire say wo be ma ekwan kakra bi abedem ekwan na ebe 30 minutes to 1 hour nienti a doctor for pesa ye ni sa na pharmacist ne pesa ye ni sa ni say e bo medro bo ma ekoka aduane no ho a e medro no ahoden eye de ekofom o body ni ntimi entwe edro no kra enko omogye mu ye enti na e bo ma ye ka ni sa no
me bisa say se wonum bibidro a otimi num doctor dro di frana
enti de esa obisa ho ne say bibidro na menum ne die ntimpo na menum se doctor dro no de ama ono eno enti so na ono no mu bibidro na ene ese uja ba akomo
e coffee na wo he a sharp onto na se o
me do me yare o na mayem renti mintimi mpie nkoto aduro
o coffee ada na wo ha wo ho wo betumi ato wo no nyina wo Dragnet app no so a wontu wo nan
Dragnet
ne Dragnet me ha me ho bi ewo no ane se makọ app no so na ma kire nura me hie nyina ana ma frɛ pharmacist no na ma jimani odi nuro no nyina bebre me na waje me 5 cedis pe
eni jesem we di ama me ho ato me bodada
emraso also download the Dragnet app free Google Play Store and App Store na nya ahotoso papa bi Dragnet app there for the tombia edikan kra.
So we have a couple of questions trooping in, and our first question is, in case I miss a dose of my drugs, can I take double of the dose to make up for the missed one?
Okay, so this is quite a dicey topic. It's not all medication. In fact, you are not supposed to even do that. If you miss a dose, just continue with what you are supposed to take at that particular time that you realize you missed your dose. So let's assume you are supposed to take a painkiller in the morning and in the afternoon and in the evening. That is an 8-hour interval. You realize at noon that you didn't take your morning dose. Just go and take your afternoon dose, forget about your morning dose. But when we are talking about contraceptives, let's say a female daily pill, that is when you are supposed to add it to whatever you are supposed to take. And that is actually just an exception. So that's the exception I can even think of right now. But for most drugs, you are not supposed to add it up to what you are supposed to take for the day.
Okay, so for most drugs, just forget about what you've missed and continue taking your drugs. All right, so the second question is, what can I do to rectify an overdose of my drug?
Okay, so the first thing that you have to think about is what did I overdose on? Okay, so if it's just a multivitamin syrup your child took the whole bottle of, probably the child will have some diarrhea, some vomiting, some cramps. If you think the child is getting worse, rush the child to the hospital. And even when it's with children, sometimes you just don't joke with it, just take the child to the hospital. But if it's you can monitor yourself. But then if you are overdosing on a drug like an antihypertensive, an anti-diabetic, a heart medication, you cannot joke with that. As soon as you realize you're overdosed, you rush to the hospital. They might pump your stomach, they might add an antidote, anything, but just rush to the hospital. If it is an active medication, maybe a painkiller, an opioid, an antihypertensive, an anti-diabetic, and a heart disease medicine. So there is always an exception to the rule, but if you are in any doubt, just go to the hospital. That's all you need to do.
Well, there's always an exception. So if you have any questions regarding an overdose, ask your pharmacist and you will get the answers you need. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Famariam. Today we are going to talk about a very, very interesting topic. We are going to talk about the posology and the side effects of drugs. I know posology sounds so technical, but it's not really something very complicated. Interestingly, posology is one of the most important aspects of pharmacy. It actually deals about drug dosages, how much of a drug you need to take and how frequent you need to take that drug. So let's talk about the age. When we talk about age, the rate at which we excrete drug or we take the drugs out of the system is really dependent on the age. A child will release drugs out of the system very slowly. So is an older person that is in a very old age. But when we are talking about the youth, those in their prime, they excrete drugs very fast. So the dosage that you give to a child will be definitely different from what you are going to give to an adult. Okay, let's talk about weight. You know, when we talk about weight, children are definitely lower in weight sometimes than adults. So when you are dosing a drug, you have to consider that. And the most important part is comorbidities. When you talk about comorbidities, you are talking about other illnesses you are having. If you are having a liver issue, a doctor or a pharmacist will consider that before giving you an amount of drug to take. So someone taking drug twice a day might not be the same for someone who has a liver disease. The person might even take it once. So that's one thing we must really talk about. Let's talk about the side effects. Side effects are the unfavorable things that we experience when we take medicines. It can come in the form of nausea, vomiting, wheezing as in the person cannot breathe, palpitation, and cramps. Gives you medication. The pharmacist gives you a medication and tells you to take it twice a day. Most people think that twice a day means that they take it in the morning and take it any other time during the day. Definitely not. When they say that you are taking a drug twice a day, it means they are telling you to take it for a 12-hour interval. So if you are taking your first dose at 8 a.m., you are taking your next dose at 8 p.m. So let's talk about a situation where someone is taking lots of medication for different kind of illnesses. Okay, so what happens is that sometimes you have drug interaction giving you unfavorable responses, giving you a whole lot of problems. It's not necessarily side effects. This one is drug interaction. So what you need to do is not to drop your medications and stop taking them altogether. What you need to is to seek the advice of your pharmacist to choose what you need to take, the ones that are really important, or they can switch your medicines altogether so that they don't even interact at all. So let's take a typical example where someone has an ulcer. The person goes to the pharmacy and demands for a pain medication. When you go, you need to tell the pharmacist that you have ulcer. If you have an asthma issue, tell your pharmacist that you have asthma. If you have a heart condition, you need to tell your pharmacist that you have a heart condition. And there, they can give you the best medications that you need to know. Remember, your pharmacist is the best person to give you advice about your medications. They can never go wrong with you. So thank you for today. Have a nice day.
Thank you so much for watching Ask Your Pharmacist on Dragnet TV. My name is Peggy Samuel. This show was brought to you by Dragnet, your #1 online pharmacy. You can download the Dragnet app, talk to a pharmacist, chat with a pharmacist about all medications and have it delivered to you at 5 cities in Accra or Tema. This is also brought to you by the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana. And a very big thank you to our supporters, Samus Pharma Limited, and our media partner, ETV Ghana. Remember, like I always say, whatever that goes inside of you is irreversible. Always ask your pharmacist about any medications before you take them. Stay safe. Same time next week, I will be in your location. So watch out, and I'll be coming your way soon. Bye-bye.